you rehearse and you plan as much as you can for certain moments, but sometimes like they're even better than what you expect. So I obviously knew kinda that it was somewhat historically incorrect, because when I pitched it, that was the one note they had, was like, technically, like, it was the Trojan horse that like beat the I don't even know, or it was the Greeks and the thing. This USC football journey has been taking me on a year-long journey with this video. Like, we're going to the Emmys on Saturday. Like, it's not over yet, which is so crazy. The squeaky wheel does eventually get heard. And if you just keep on pounding on that door, like, they are going to open it. If you seize the opportunity, the world is yours. I was initially denied it the summer before.
Oh yeah.
And that was really tough. Like that was really tough.
Welcome back to another episode of the First Act Break podcast, the show that dives into the art and business of breaking into the film industry. Today we are chatting with a director and VFX artist, and his work include USC's Arrival of the Trojan, Coachella's campaign, Rolling Loud, The Weekend, and Metro Booming videos. And we are pleased to welcome Flint. Thank you for joining us, man. We're so excited.
Thank you for being here.
No, guys, I'm excited to be here.
Dude,
excited to be here.
VFX is one of those things where when you make a movie, you basically can do anything. You know, anything is possible. And because of that, you made the craziest sport hype video with USC's football Arrival of the Trojan. I mean, tell us a little bit about that experience.
I'll just go from the beginning.
Absolutely.
I mean, my dad went to USC, and like we have a long lineage of people who went to USC. So like some of my first memories are going to USC football games. So that was always like engraved in my brain of like, okay, like this is something in my life. Like this is something that's important to my family. So then it's obviously important to me. And I just always had the dream of doing so. Like I'm a football fan, but I went to the games when I was younger to watch the Jumbotron video. I was just really inspired by how it just like pumped up the crowd, and it was like a minute and a half, but the music was loud and it got people excited. Like I feel like that's what storytelling is all about. And then lo and behold, like I got into the school, and then like certain projects that came my way that led me to have discussions with the USC football team. And I remember it was, I mean, I had the idea for the video in a coffee shop at Ministry of Coffee. And
wow.
I was like, oh, like what if like this happens to that happens. And that was like a Thursday. I vividly remember it was a Thursday, having the idea of them jumping out of a plane, landing in the Coliseum, and it being something for the Big Ten conference.
Right.
And I texted one of my now really good friends, Radman, who's like he's no longer at USC football, but he said I could come into the office on Tuesday, spent the whole weekend making the pitch deck, and then I pitched it to them like on the spot. It's saying like Arrival of the Trojan, this is the story, like we got to do this. And it was definitely a very bold move of like a student going in there saying like we got to do the Jumbotron video, like we got to do the campaign, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. But they loved it from the jump, and I mean that project wouldn't have been possible without their trust. Their trust in me and their like excitement. I feel like that's what it's all about. And then yeah, I mean it's such a storytelling story. I mean it's like the whole team that made the video happen, like we're all going to the Emmys on Saturday to hopefully get an Emmy for the video. So
that's so exciting.
It's crazy. It feels like something out of like a movie, honestly.
Yeah. Is this like the result of that video, how it went viral online? Were you expecting that at all?
I mean, obviously, you know, like we're all confident in our own work.
Yeah.
And we all are just excited and confident about our own work, but I never expected that video to be the one that would kind of take my work and my career to the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked and like done other things before that, but this is something that really like set my name on a level that I've always aspired. But for it to happen in college and to be like for my college football team, with just the whole story, my lineage, it just made it even that more special. So
Yeah.
no, honestly, no, I did not think it would get to that level, honestly.
No, that's so inspiring. And like, what doors did it open for you in your career with this video?
I think it just opened more like mental, like mindset doors more than anything. I think it just now allows me to operate more confidently and saying like, well, if this worked, like, why can't that work? You know, like, I mean, going into that project, there was there was a lot at stake, and there wasn't much to really like back my name, at least for a project at that scale and what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But now it allows me to, again, like being, well, if this was possible and I was kind of at this point in my career, like, what's next? Like why not just shoot for the stars? And if you land on the moon, that would be that would be greater than anything else I could imagine.
That's awesome.
I am curious though, like you were there at the night when the video debuted on the screen. What did that feel like for you? And to see all of USC football fans watch that video for the first time ever, what was it like?
You know, that was you know, like those moments that you always dream of happening. And I always thought that I was gonna be in like the end zone on the field, or like I thought I was gonna have like it was something you rehearse and you plan as much as you can for certain moments, but sometimes like they're even better than what you expect. I mean, it was so surreal. I mean, it definitely helped that we beat LSU the game before. So going into this game, I think it was like Utah State or something. It was like a packed Coliseum.
Right.
And when the lights shut off with all the phone lights and then I had like my friends sending me the video and stuff. It was extremely surreal. It was and then after I saw Ava, like my girlfriend, she was also on the field. And then I saw my parents, and my parents were crying because they know how much this means to me and my family. Like it was much deeper than just a video for us. Like this is something, like this was like a Tanquary product.
That's amazing.
But it was surreal. I will never forget it. It was one of those like milestones that I will remember for the rest of my life.
That's great. I mean, awesome. I grew up like in a small town like Wyoming. So when I was there and I was getting into colleges, I had two options, USC and Chapman. And Chapman had gave me a really good scholarship. USC didn't really give me much. So I was like, shoot, like how do I decide? And then I'm not going to lie, the Coliseum and how grand the school was definitely something that moved me towards USC. And I still remember that weekend. I was in San Diego at the Safari Park when that video dropped. And I was like, yo, boys, like, check out this video. It was, like, insane. And then we pulled up to a bar afterwards and watched the game, and it was, like, incredible, you know? So that video, like, really kicked off, and I'm sure will continue to inspire so many people afterwards.
That's awesome. I mean, I feel like the reason why, like, we do what we do is to create moments. Like, to create, like, oh, I remember where I was when, like, I watched this video. Or I remember where I was when, like, I'll watch the game, which was, like, tied to the video.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that makes me so happy that I can leave just, like, a little dent on the world. I feel like that's what we're all aspiring for. And to know that was something that I could do, it brings me so much joy. It's very humbling. It's very humbling.
Yeah, man. And, you know, I watched the Sony documentary and I saw like Jacoby Lane holding the camera. Like, what was it like working with the players on this film?
Honestly, I mean, I think it's just a testament to like the coaching staff, and I think everybody just involved at USC football. But they're also college students. Like they were so easy to work with. They were so excited to be a part of something that was like, it was a team video. Like it wasn't about like a single player. Like it was just it was about the team, and that's what sports or just team working in general is all about. Like there are no heroes. It was a team effort, and that's what it was like on production. I mean, filmmaking is different than any other art. Like it takes a team. Like you need everybody to pull their own weight, and the players really pulled their own weight. I mean, like Jacoby like grabbed the camera, was like filming some shots. Like it was so much fun, and I think that's what made even the push when it's like 4 a.m. working on 3D and VFX. Like you remember those moments, and that's why you're doing it, is to make sure you're making that version of yourself proud.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Totally. I mean, how long did the post take?
So I think we started it around like the end of June, like top of July. And then throughout July, like we were working on it like here and there, and like maybe 2 days on, like 1 day off, or kind of just like working on it. But then that month of August was definitely a really big push.
Right.
And that whole that video would not have been possible without like the people who helped in post-production.
Yeah.
Like my really good friend, like Zeke Wagner, he's awesome. Like he's so great. It's actually his birthday today.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
And like he was such a massive help, and like we all pulled a lot of strings and a lot of late nights to get that done. It was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am curious though, talking about post-production, I am curious about the pre-production process, because for a project that involves so much VFX, I'm sure you have to plan out like every shot. Was that the case, or how much like playing room did you have with the players or with the edit in the post process?
So we, like a week before the shoot, or like 2 weeks, we made a previs, which was like to the frame, basically what the edit was. Obviously, I think we switched out a few shots, I think 2, but it was very like to the frame, just to make sure that we're not wasting time in post-production, but also we're getting the shots that we need, because some of them weren't kind of like, some of them were planned. Like when he like threw the camera at the back of the plane, or when he landed in the Coliseum, we're taking out the sword, like all those shots were planned, which also made, because we couldn't spend all day with the players, like they have practice or they have obligations, so they only had like 10 minutes with us. So it's like, all right, like we're gonna get X, Y, and Z, like we're super planned, we're super dialed, we're gonna make it super fun, and then they're out of there. So it was a lot of planning, but it made the post-production somewhat easier.
Wow. I mean, what was it like? What was the inspiration behind this video? Like, what are some comps you had, maybe, like, where the camera moves and the tone of the whole thing? Like, what were some of the materials that inspired this?
I mean, I think just the overall inspiration was, I mean, it kind of stemmed from this one question I had, was like, all right, like if I am, so USC football, obviously their audience is massive. Like there's the students, to older alumni.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to hit hard on like the students in the younger generation. So if I am a student in the student section, like what do I want to see right before a football game? Like what would fire me up like crazy?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I got the idea from. I mean, it was such a simple question, but that's what it was. It's just simple. All it is just a video that plays before a sports game. But we ended up kind of taking it to another level, which we're trying to push that agenda in other projects now. But in terms of the actual visuals, I just wanted to make it like in your face, intimidating as possible. Like if I'm the opponent, I am terrified to face this team, because they are just the best. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually really curious, because, I mean, that video obviously blew up. So many people loved it, and it's just an amazing piece of work for online as well. But there's some people who are talking about the historical stuff.
I knew it was going to get brought up.
And I wonder, what was your thought when you saw those comments, you know?
So I obviously knew kind of that it was somewhat historically incorrect. Because when I pitched it, that was the one note they had, was like, technically, like, it was the Trojan horse that like beat the I don't even know, or it was the Greeks and the thing, I don't know. But our whole like our mascot is a Greek guy, like that's the design of like a Greek warrior, I think. Okay, don't quote me on that. I think, but like a lot of our, like the Colosseum is Greek, so like it's like sense. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, I took it as a compliment. Like if I feel like when you're like when you have people talking about something, like whether good or bad, I feel like you're doing something right. And if people are taking time out of their day to really watch the video, and that means like they're really paying attention to it, and if that's what they have to say, and that video is totally up to interpretation. Hopefully that didn't steer them away from disliking the video, but I feel like when you have people talking, that you're doing something right. And, you're getting your work recognized.
Right. I mean, I feel like most of those people don't actually care about the historical facts. They're just hating on USC just to hate on us. But,
yeah, true.
You know, it's all good. And you made some of those really cool recruiting videos for USC football, and I just wonder, what was the impact of these videos? Because I mean, no other school is really doing the quality of content for these recruits and stuff. So I don't know, from your perspective, what is the impact of these videos?
Well, so that video was more to like get my feet wet in the USC football world, because obviously coming in like a student at the time saying like, hey, like we're gonna do this massive project and it's gonna be sick. Yeah. Obviously they're like, all right, well, everybody has to be on board with this video, and USC football is a massive corporation, so we'll use the USC football recruiting, which is in like beginning of June, to show them being like, hey, like I can like work with you guys really well. It's going to be a very streamlined process. Like it's going to be fun. And we get this like really awesome product. And I think when it went semi-viral within the college football space, it was like, all right, like we're doing something right here. Like let's move forward with this like actual like main video, which was already approved at the time. I think it showed like, all right, this like 3D visual effects like storytelling world, I think they're gonna like this next one. And then ended up working out.
I mean, when you got into USC, how happy were you when you got that acceptance letter?
I was on the beach with my friends, and I got the email, and I got accepted into animation and digital arts in the cinema school, and I was so fired up. I was so excited, and I called my mom, and she didn't believe me. And I was like, what? I mean, why do you not? Yeah, that was a dream school.
Wow. Yeah.
It was surreal. It was another one of those moments that like you feel like you're always like hoping for, you're planning for, but you just never know what it's gonna actually feel like when you get there, and you just gotta enjoy the moment. So awesome. that was another thing that I really remembered, was just getting into my dream school, just like you guys. It's special.
Yeah, I remember when I got accepted, I jumped like really high. That my mom said she's never seen me that happy before, like from like an acceptance letter.
Yeah,
just like a literal like just the confettis, everything. So I really relate to that feeling. And I'm curious though, like you made this project really without knowing how big it is going to be. You really just put in the work and made the best video you possibly could. So I am wondering, what is one challenge that you faced, and what is one piece of advice you would give someone else who's trying to make a hype video similar to the one that you made for USC?
Well, I feel like one of the most difficult moments was obviously getting it off the ground, was to like convince them. Because, I mean, your video could look like anything. I mean, our video had its own difficulties through like 3D and visual effects. But in terms of just like getting a video off the ground, I just think it takes like a mixture of like unwavering confidence and just this like rock resilience, where even if they say no in the beginning, there's nothing wrong about going back and knocking on that door and talking to them again. I mean, that was the case for almost every single project. Obviously, people are going to be hesitant of doing something really big, but people are really bought into like people, momentum, and stories. And as long as you just have that unwavering confidence, but it really is that resilience. And you know that you have this tunnel vision, this North Star of a goal, and you're willing to do whatever it takes. I mean, the squeaky wheel does eventually get heard. And if you just keep on pounding on that door, like they are going to open it. And if you seize the opportunity, the world is yours. Wow. But you just need to be resilient.
Right.
Because it's tough.
Yeah. How do you keep yourself resilient?
I think it's keeping those moments in mind of like, where am I going to be when this video is released? Who am I going to be with? What am I going to be feeling? I mean, I wanted to, when the video was released, I just wanted to be with my friends at like a bar, and we were. And that was something I was keeping in the back of my mind of like, okay, like I have this goal of mine of where I'm going to be. I can envision it. I'm manifesting it. Obviously manifestation just doesn't work on its own. Like you need to go out and get it. But it works. I really do believe it works.
Wow.
So just setting those end goals for yourself, of like, where am I going to be? Who am I going to be with? And it'll happen.
Yeah.
I believe it.
That's awesome. I mean, you talk a lot about like keep going and keep knocking the door. Is there ever a moment where you realize that door is closed for good and it's to move on to a better opportunity maybe?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's obviously a tough, sometimes that could be a pretty tough realization. But you just need to have everything happens for a reason. I mean,
Yeah.
that USC football story is only half of the story. I was initially denied it the summer before.
Oh yeah.
And that was really tough. Like that was really tough. And then that was something where I just realized, like, all right, like, this door is closed. I'm just going to keep on moving forward. I mean, luckily I was a student at the time, so I just kept myself busy. But I saw that door was closed and I accepted it. And I just recognized, like, everything happens for a reason. Like, this is how it's supposed to be. But you never know. Like, that door ended up opening back up 9 months later naturally. And it, like, came to me. And then I chased it. So I do think doors close. But a even better door is going to open before you know it. And you just need to really trust this journey that you're on.
Right. When you got into USC at first, was that like already the goal to make that Jumbotron video?
So I think I always had that dream, but it was something I never thought was going to happen when I was a student. But I think it really became a goal of mine when I was like a sophomore, like a mid-year sophomore, when I started to like really get some work under my belt. And then it didn't work out that time. And then like a year and some change later is when I went back to it again. So I think it was steps. It was levels of like, okay, I want to do this. Okay, there's an opportunity, but then it didn't work out. It's like, all right, well, I need to do this. Like my gut, like everything about me is telling me I need to do this. And I'm so grateful that I listened to my gut.
Yeah.
Every single day. I'm so glad.
I mean, what do you think is the reason that the door opened up again and that didn't, like, it was closed the first time?
I think it was multiple things. I think it was like maturity. Like I think I was like a year older, and I was like, I had like a few more projects under my belt. I was a little bit more experienced, but I think it was that confidence and resilience thing. Like in order to be like standing on the mountain, you kind of need to go through a valley. And it kind of felt like I went through a valley. I mean, I'll save my stories for down the line. But it was tough. But I felt like I went through that valley, and now I feel like, all right, like if I can do, again, like back to the thing, if I can do that, like I can do this.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just through experience and through learning that resilience and confidence and just knowing like I'm going to do this no matter what.
Nice. I mean, that video is incredible, and I don't know when the next football Jumbotron video is going to top that. Because
Me neither.
I mean, good luck, Sine, you know? I'm going to try to get him on the show soon, too.
I love Sine. He's the best.
Yes, he's so talented.
He's awesome. I love him.
Mm-hmm.
Making the USC Jumbotron video, you got to work with athletes. But another part of your portfolio, a large part of it, is music-based. A lot of it does involve, staying to the tune and making sure that the video has a rhythm to it. And you've worked on a Coachella video, and I'm curious, what's the biggest difference between working on a video that's sports-based versus something that's very much about music and about the energy that music brings to a live event like Coachella?
Yeah, I mean, the music scene, well, I feel like the difference for me going into a project is that sports has guardrails where it's like, okay, we obviously need to feature the players, like, hopefully with their uniform on. You should probably have a football in there, and like it would make sense to have a stadium, and like it's some sort of journey about that. I mean, obviously the USC football video was a different type of sports video, but it still featured those main sports elements. With music, it can kind of be like whatever you want. So it's with the Coachella video, it was we had some guardrails where like we couldn't really feature any music artists or anything like that. So it was really up to interpretation. So with the Coachella video, it was something that like, all right, like I kind of have no guardrails. Like what is something that as a viewer, like I would love to watch. But I feel like music gets a lot more creative freedom, but with sports I think there's a few more rules you should follow just to keep it within that sports world. But I feel like creativity is at its best with those guardrails, just so you're not kind of shooting in space and you're not like making a really random video that like nobody will understand, you know, or at least a random story. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious, correct me if I'm wrong, but the video featured UFOs.
Oh,
is that
yeah.
correct? How did you come up with that idea of like incorporating that into the video?
Well, I for my videos, I like to have like a mantra or just some sort of like Bible line that I can always resort back to of like a video title. Like, okay, like this video is this, like in one sense. So Arrival of Trojan, obviously. But and then Coachella was Global Connections. So that was I mean, that's just the name I give it, just like for fun. But I like Rolling Loud always seemed like something that was completely out of this world to me. And then I kind of landed on that name, like out of this world. All right, what is something out of this world? Like UFOs. Like let's that project, that was me like 2 years ago. So there wasn't as much like planning going into it because that opportunity kind of came up at the last second. So a lot of the creative decisions had to come after the shoot, which it happens. I think my goal was to try to put the concert inside a UFO. But then we ended up just putting Playboy Cardi on top of the UFO, which I think ended up working out like pretty cool. But yeah, I think it's just coming up with those hero lines that you can always resort back to, almost like a table of contents.
I am curious though, you said that you got to it last minute. How did that limitation, I guess, foster your creativity? Because I think sometimes when you don't have necessarily all the resources that you have, a lot of times great ideas come out. So what was that process like for you when you had limited time to make the video happen?
It was a great learning experience, honestly. I mean, I think, again, I totally agree with you. Like sometimes your best decisions are underneath pressure. I mean, like pressure makes diamonds, and we shot that video and I wanted to turn it around like a week later, but a lot of like the edit wasn't even like really figured out, and we just had like a loose idea that I just wanted to include a UFO in it. Like that was kind of it. And that was like a 1 week sprint of just like trying to figure out this video. But I wouldn't have wanted it any other way, because then that taught me the importance of like pre-production and like really planning, but also maybe you can leave some stuff open because you know that you'll be able to figure it out eventually. Like everything always works out. Like a project never doesn't get finished. It's just a matter of like those certain sparks and ideas, that motivation that comes up like in the middle of the project.
Right. Yeah, it is all about like ironing it out as you go and just making it better and better over time.
Totally.
I am curious, like for Coachella, it's a live event, and it's more about capturing special moments that you don't necessarily have as much control over as say, you know, the USC video. So how do you go about capturing those clips and footage and then selecting the ones that actually pop out and getting rid of the ones that maybe doesn't work as well?
Right. So, I mean, that video was kind of a similar story to Rolling Loud, where that was also like a 1 week turnaround, where we were at we were at Coachella, like in like an RV back, like backstage. And then we turned it around like for the next weekend, but then they ended up loving the video so much that they saved it for their campaign. It was supposed to be a recap, but then they wanted to save it for their campaign for like ticket sales for the next year. So again, like it was a mixture of like, all right, like we know these doors, like we know, like I want doors to pop up in like all around the world, and then the doors will lead to Coachella because it's like an art installation, like how Coachella has like art installations and stuff. But what we did, I went out and I shot with like one of my best friends, Henry Haber, which was super fun. And we would just run around the just the campgrounds, and we would pull people who like either had like a beautiful outfit on or somebody who we thought like would be perfect for the video, and we would tell them just to like run around and like act like they're in Coachella and like spin around and stuff, and we just ran with them filming it. And then Henry actually edit that like montage together. He turned that thing around in like one night. I mean, some people just have it, and like he has that gift of editing. And that's something I always let him take control over, like when it comes to projects like those. But again, like that was something totally like going into it, we knew that like you just don't know the magic of Coachella or a live event like Coachella until you're there. So a lot of those moments, like we didn't plan those on purpose, just so we could like be there and like feel the energy there. And I mean, if you guys have gone to Coachella, it has that energy to it, and we tried our best to capture it there.
Nice. I actually wonder, like, what is the difference between working with these big artists and big brands versus like, you know, passion projects and stuff like that?
I mean, I think I've gotten pretty lucky where these projects do end up feeling like passion projects, just because of the creative control I have. But I feel like a passion project is all it's subjective. Like I think a passion project is anything that you pour yourself into, and I definitely have. I am very fortunate to the point that I do have like creative say, and I can have creative control on these projects. But I think the difference is up to you. Right. Like I think if you want to treat this like a job, and if you kind of just want to like get it done and put like 50% into it, or I mean, this is what I believe, you should always pour 110% into everything you do, because you never know who's watching, and you never know what's going to come after. I mean, that wasn't always the case where I had creative control. Obviously, like I had to work my way to that, but it was because I always poured into those projects that were more considered, or what other people would consider like jobs. I see. So just that difference. So just treat every job like a passion project.
Wow.
Because you'll get those passion projects. They always do. They always come around.
Right. And, you know, these videos are so impressive, like heavily edited and like designed and stuff, right? And, you know, when you're editing something, it almost feels like it's never done. It feels like, wow, I want to do more. I want to do more. Like, when is it right for you to know, oh, that's when I have to export?
Deadlines. I feel like a deadline is when I know. No, I mean, like, obviously a deadline, but it's also just when. That's actually a good question, because I feel like it kind of is those like personal. Actually, yeah, that's my answer. Like a personal deadline that you set for yourself, that you know, like, okay, I'm going to work as much as I can until whether like this project is done or it's like 7 p.m. and I'm tired. And I don't want to burn myself out because it's a Tuesday and I want to work for the rest of the week.
Right.
So I think it's definitely putting up those boundaries to make sure that your life isn't like completely tied to this. Because obviously, like, we love what we do, but life is so much more than this. And when you have those boundaries, that's when you'll know when something is finished. When you have those boundaries, when you have those deadlines, that the only person who can set that up for you is yourself.
Right. Gotcha. And I wonder, you've done so many different projects, and there's projects that you're almost known for, but what are some more of the underrated projects that you really loved making?
Ooh, such a good question. I don't know. I mean, I've been editing for so long, and like, I think a lot of these projects I did during COVID time really like stuck out to me, because that's where I learned how to tell like a visual story in a minute and a minute and a half using 3D and VFX with $0, because I just did it all for myself. I think a lot of those projects mean a lot to me, and obviously they're kind of like so nowadays. But I think those really do mean a lot to me, because that's like where I got started. Like those are my ground roots. Though that was the definition of a passion project. Like nobody was forcing my hand, nobody was telling me what to do. It was just me and my computer and an occasional like energy drink, and I just wanted to make a dent in the world. And now I'm still trying to channel that same energy into these projects now, which so I would say just the ground root ones, like the ones that nobody sees. Those are my favorite ones.
Right. Nice, dude. And you've made all these projects, and a lot of them feature like celebrities and stuff. Does it ever feel like, make you feel nervous or anxious working with, these big names?
Yes. Honestly, like, sometimes I do get nervous. But it all comes out of good heart. I mean, I think when you're nervous for something, it means that you care. Yeah. And as long as you just tell yourself that you care, boom, like you just automatically turn that perspective into something so good for yourself. And then now you're just moving with this confidence, because it's like, okay, like I care about this stuff, like boom, like let's get right into it. But I think naturally, as like human beings, like we just get nervous, we get scared about certain things. But as long as you just kind of can like shift that perspective really quick, like you're good,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, who's a dream like artist or sport player you'd love to work with?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, for a long time, honestly, like it was USC football. For a long time, it was like up until that project, it was just because of how personal it was. I mean, honestly, doing like some sort of short film where I can tell like an original story, or even, a movie, honestly, like just an original story that can, it still has that like same like visual, like world building style that, I try to have my projects be like, I try to pursue for that, but something in like a longer form. I mean, that's obviously a long ways away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think just doing something that I can have ownership over.
Nice. And moving on a little bit about like your journey, your filmmaking journey, what was it like, attending USC Film School? Because a lot of people are like having this debate, like, is film school worth it? And from a perspective, as an animation major, what was that like for you?
I loved it. I mean, I just graduated, but I think what really like film school is about is, I mean, I learned a lot of unique things in the animation program. Like I learned a lot about, because at least in animation, the animation program that I was in was like drawing animation. Like this was like real animation. Like they are so talented, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But what that meant was that you have to plan literally every single frame before that pen hits the paper. And that level of pre-production and planning is something that I've never witnessed before. And it just hammered that into my brain, where I will not walk onto a set where, like, unless if I feel so prepared and I know exactly what I want. Especially with these celebrities and these athletes, like they're there for 10 minutes. So, but film school is about the people. That's what I was getting at. Was like like these guys who I met, and these guys, girls, like just everybody who I met, I'm gonna be working with them for the rest of my life.
Right.
Because I mean, obviously USC Film School, like, it's regarded as the best film school in the world for a reason, and that's because of like the alumni, like those who have carved like the way before us, and how we look out for each other.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's so surreal. Like, you really do have that USC spirit, and you can feel it outside the campus. Like when somebody's wearing a USC hat, or somebody's like says they're from USC, like your ears will perk up, or your eyes will like lock in.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, life is about the people, like, and that's what film school is about. Like, you can't meet like-minded people in that age range where you're like preparing and about to rocket launch into like whatever you're doing anywhere else.
Right. Wow. That's well said, man. What was your application to USC Film School like?
I think it was So I used to be like a camp counselor at Woodward, which was like this Pennsylvania. It's in Pennsylvania, and it's like an extreme sports camp. So I was like one of their video guys, but I was also a camp counselor, which was super fun. Or I was a junior counselor, so like I had a cabin and stuff, which was like super like goofy and fun. But I wrote mine just about how leading like a team of people had me, like I was forced to gain confidence. Like confidence was something that I really lacked growing up as like, I mean, kids, like growing up, like teenage years, like so does every other kid. But I think it's interesting that I'm still pursuing that growth of confidence and resilience. Like that journey will never be over. But yeah, that's what I wrote about, was just about like gaining confidence and how I can contribute to the USC community or whatever.
Right. Nice. I mean, what was the idea behind like applying to animation instead of maybe film production or other majors?
You know, I'll be completely honest. So you know when you logged into the application portal, and when you click the major, it was in alphabetical order.
Oh yeah.
Because
animations
it was like damn near first.
Right.
And so I didn't think I was going to get into production. I didn't think I was good enough because a lot of my stuff was like 3D animation, or it was like me and my friends playing basketball or surfing or skateboarding, and it's cut up to like a 30-45 second like rap song. Like that's what it was. Like I wasn't coming in with like a script or anything like that. Like it was just a hobby of mine until it was time to apply for colleges, and it was like, oh shoot, like I should probably take this film thing more seriously. I mean it was obviously deeper than that, but it was like, okay, I want to go to school for like film, and I didn't think I was gonna get into production because I was never doing what you would call like a normal production. So I was like, oh shoot, like what else should I apply into? And then it was animation. And then right when I got into school, I got wrapped up in some crazy work, and I just never had time to transfer. But then I ended up learning like what you need to do like production wise, doing my own projects outside of school. So I was just learning through experience. It also helped that some of my best friends are in production. So when I had questions, they would just help me.
That's awesome. And when you first got to campus, I'm sure it was, a lot to take in. And for, let's say, hypothetically, someone who's a freshman at USC Film School, what would be your, I guess, 3 pieces of advice to them to really build a community for themselves in this film school environment?
Ooh. Shoot, that's a good one. Well, I would say just like meet people, like just meet as many people. And I know that's so corny. But there's that saying, like your first semester freshman year friends most likely won't be your senior year, like who you're graduating with. Like you are going to meet some of your best, like I met some of my best friends junior year. So just why not just meet everybody? Just expedite that process and meet like some of your best friends then and now, because time is going to go by like that. And so you might as well just make use of that time and just meet everybody. Just meet everybody as much as you can. And fail hard and fail fast. Like fail, like just make mistakes, just fail. Like, but just fail fast and just get up. Like you don't have to share all the mistakes. Like people make mistakes every single day, and you don't have to like go on social media being like, oh, I just spilled my coffee, lol. Or I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously I'm talking about mistakes like in film, but just fail fast. Like it's not the end of the world. Like the world people can already be so difficult on other people. So don't be difficult on yourself, because there's no need to be. So I would say that. And then, meet people, like just fail fast. Okay, this is going to be another corny one, but people take themselves too seriously. Just have fun. Like that, again, like all my ideas for all my projects have come from just the thought process of like, oh, like what would be cool? Like it's not that deep. Like this isn't rocket science. Like this isn't medicine. Like this is storytelling. It's supposed to be fun. So have fun.
Right. Awesome.
That's awesome.
I wonder, what was your first ever gig, that you got money for filmmaking?
I mean, growing up, I was like the only friend. Like I was like the only guy who did film because everybody else was in like sports. I mean, I was also into sports, but they were like good at sports. Like I wasn't good at I wasn't that good at sports. So I was just like, all right, whatever. Like I'll just focus on this film stuff. So I was constantly asked by like local gyms or like random people if they can film stuff, or like your random like up and coming rapper to like, yeah, like, can you film a music video for me? And I was like, no, because it was just a passion thing for me.
Yeah.
But then senior year, I got asked to do like the Pop Smoke, like What You Know About Love music video, which was like that was a massive song at the time. Like that was a big like TikTok song. That was one of the first big TikTok songs. And I did like the outro like 3D sequence for them. So that was actually my first gig.
Wow.
And I think fun fact, like I tried to put my sister in there, like in the music video, because the outro was like all the TikTok videos like projected, like engraved on the Pop Smoke text, like the Pop Smoke logo, and I tried to put like a few of my friends in there, but then the label like circled all of them individually and being like, can you remove them?
No. Oh my god. How did they find all those?
I don't know. I guess it was too obvious. I think it was a quality thing.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Dang.
I don't know.
And what was that like when you got your first paycheck? Like, is that the moment you realized this is what you're going to do for the rest of your life? Or did you know before that?
I think I knew before that, but then when I did like because when you're a senior in high school and then you're doing a video for, he passed away like a few months before that. So this was for like a Grammy nominated album. This was like the biggest song in the world, like doing the music video for that in high school. I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, maybe I'm doing something right. And then more projects like ended up coming up after that, like when I got into college. But I think that was the first time where it was like, all right, like I'm not crazy. Like this can actually work.
How did you get that gig as someone in high school?
They just DM me. They just Instagram DM me.
That's cool.
But again, it was one of those things like you just never know who's watching. So just like post your stuff.
Yeah, put yourself out there.
Yeah, put yourself out there.
That's awesome. I wonder, when you got into film school, right, and you were getting all these different projects, when did you get your first like big one after like, obviously this one, but when did you get a gig that was like, holy shit, this is like huge,
it was honestly like the first one. I mean, so right when I got here, I got reached out to do like 3D like VFX, just to like help edit. It wasn't like a massive role, but it was just like being like heavily in the weeds on it was like for Metro Boomin and for the Heroes and Villains album trailer. Which was ridiculous. Like being a freshman and like driving after class to the director's house, who like the director was Gibson Hazard, who's like incredible, and he's awesome. He was so generous to like bring me onto that project. That was just a ridiculous like time of my life. Just like balancing first semester freshman year or second semester, and then going over to like work on this like Metro Boomin project with like Morgan Freeman and Lakeith Stanfield and Young Thug and Gunna, and so that was crazy. And so I really got my feet wet with that. But then my sophomore first semester was pretty everything just happened so fast. In my first semester I did a project. It was this is when I then started to direct. So it was like the NBA ESPN opener, and then working with DeAndre Hopkins, and then working with The Weeknd. So it was like all three of these projects like in one semester.
Yeah.
I think that semester was like, whoa, like this is crazy. Like,
I know.
This is nuts. And balancing school and trying to be like a human with like a social life.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Like speaking of that though, like how do you make sure that you do have that kind of balance in your life? Because a lot of times, the work is it feels like you're really riding on that high and you're going, but I do feel like sometimes it is kind of easy to burn out. So how do you go about avoiding that in approaching work, and when do you know maybe when to say no to a project for maybe your own mental health or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, I'm the biggest advocate when it comes to that stuff. Like you always need to choose you. Like you always need to come first. Obviously, sometimes you do need to make sacrifices where you're kind of pushing yourself to the limit, but you can't go 110 miles per hour all the time. And I'm talking like 20, 22-hour days going like that hard.
Yeah.
I think it's, again, like putting up those boundaries for yourself where like, okay, like I'm going to do my best to like try to take weekends off, which is something that I feel like a lot of people kind of struggle with nowadays, which is tough. But maybe that means just putting in that extra work during the week, but then taking the weekend off and you really feel like you earned it. It's just putting up those boundaries and also just learning through experience. Like, okay, this is my capacity. I'm not going to exceed this, no matter if this project is amazing or not, because you obviously have to get it done. And if you're at a certain capacity and you can't get it done, that's way worse than saying no.
Right. And this is a good segment to what we want to talk about, which is like advice for our viewers who want to do something similar or break into the industry. Like if you were to start today, to do what you're doing now, what is a good program to start learning, or what are some steps to take to learn what you know?
I mean, I feel like in terms of softwares, like it's kind of up to whatever you want to do. Like if you're big into 3D and visual effects, I would obviously work my way up and start learning After Effects or Nuke, just to like really get the compositing and then jump into like a Blender or Cinema 4D. But it's definitely not so much, I feel like, about the software. It's definitely about the person. Like, again, like you really got to want it, because it can be a little daunting at times. Like it can be a little challenging for sure. And like like Rome was not built in a day. Not at all. Like, I mean, just with everything in life. But in terms of advice, I mean, what I would do right now, I would start hitting up as many people as possible. Like just getting coffee, just meeting people. I mean, it really is like a people industry. Like you really have to know the right people, but it's kind of true. And it's really not that difficult being a nice person, and people want to work with nice people. And again, like it takes a village, like it takes a team. So people are going to want to hire and bring on people who they like and have good experiences with.
Yeah.
So I would just say like reach out, just like meet as many people as you can, and just know like it like Rome wasn't built in a day. Like this is something, like everybody's journey is different, and that's like for a reason. Like everybody's journey is different. You're gonna end up getting to where you need to be, and just trust that process.
Right. And like, I mean, what was the software that you started on when you started learning VFX?
So I first started learning, so in like high school, I told myself I would learn one software every summer.
Oh, nice.
Which then compiled into like 4 summers. So I learned After Effects, and then I learned, it's not really a software, but it was like an After Effects plugin. It was like Element 3D, which was like a 3D like made by Andrew Kramer. I don't know if anybody watching this knows Andrew Kramer. I don't know, he's some like visual effects guy.
Okay. Yeah.
But so I learned that, and then I learned Cinema 4D, and then I learned Blender.
Wow.
So it was kind of just like kind of over time, just learning these different, just that diligence. Like having that diligence, relying on diligence, not motivation for that stuff.
That's awesome. I mean, way to be like goal oriented, even in high school, like where most kids be goofing off, maybe you're like actually, locking in on these softwares. That's so sick.
Yeah. I don't know. I found it fun.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. I mean, what do you think like helped you learn the quickest? Like, was it YouTube videos, or was it like, reading articles or whatever,
I watched some YouTube videos, but I mean, especially in high school, like I loved listening to music while editing, so you can't really do both. So then I ended up, so what I would do is I would come up with a concept of like, all right, I'm going to make like a roller coaster style video with Cinema 4D, which is how I learned Cinema 4D. Or I'm going to make like a car driving through a city animation with element 3D, which is like how I learned. So I would write out a little story, just like a log line, like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the song I want to use.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to figure out how to make that video with the software, just so you're not like, everything you're learning has a purpose towards this end goal, and you're going to learn through experience, not through these like one-off YouTube tutorials where like all these YouTube people have different ways of like editing or like doing certain things. But if you just teach yourself trying to tell this like larger story, like whatever this like minute and a half long story, I think I personally think that's the best way to learn a software.
Wow, nice. I mean, how long did it take you to make that roller coaster video?
I spent from like January to April working on that. Okay, so it wasn't over the summer, but it was like in the winter time. I don't know, in COVID time, everything just felt like summer.
Right.
But so it took me that long, but I'm still learning a lot about cinema, obviously. Yeah.
What's the biggest software you're trying to figure out now?
Honestly, I think it's just still like just more mastering like cinema and Blender, honestly. Like I feel really comfortable in those, and now I'm at a position where I can bring on a team and people can assist with 3D and VFX, so I don't need to be in the weeds as much, even though like I end up being in the weeds like a lot anyways, just because that's just how it goes. But I would think it's just continuing just to like master the craft, whether that's like 3D cameras or certain animations.
Dang. No, that's so... I mean, you have a team of people that you normally hit up for these?
I do, yeah. I mean, it's just people I can rely on, and it's honestly fun. Like, it's a good time, and these are people I know that they'll be excited about it, and they'll deliver, but overall, it'll be a good time. Again, it's like, good people, good work, like, let's do it, and it's a good time. Like, it's fun.
Yeah. How did you meet these people, and how did you form these, like, networks with them?
It was the same thing, like just the same advice I'm giving. I'm just hitting these people up on Instagram, and this was obviously a long time ago. We got coffee, we got lunch, and we liked each other, and then something came up, and I reached out to them. They were excited, and then we worked together, and we just haven't looked back. Wow, it's just awesome. That's just how it goes. It's just I'm just texting people on Instagram, getting coffees, and then you just never know. You just never know where it's gonna go.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm actually really curious because, you have all these crazy sweeping camera moves. It's panning this way, it's going this way. Like, when you're making the storyboard, what are the things that, kind of go into your head on how you're going to construct a scene, right? Because it is all very complex, and, normal film people, it's very hard to do. But when you have almost unlimited freedom, you get to go crazy with it. So what is something that helps you make these storyboards?
I think it's something like, what is the most immersive thing? Like, what is like the one moment that people will hopefully take away from this video? And if it's like a longer camera move that really shows different parts of the world in one movement, like in one cut, then I want it to be that. Like, I think it's just, sometimes it's just like for fun, or sometimes it's for storytelling purposes of like, just establishing this world. Like, I think in Arrival, one of my favorite camera movements where like I zoomed in to the horse, like into like the Trojan horse, and then now we're like inside the Trojan horse, and then it match cuts to inside the plane.
Right.
But you don't really know it's inside the plane at first until we cut back outside the plane. But then just to like, all right, like, no, they are literally inside this plane. We then like transition through the plane to then show the players again. So a lot of it is just like kind of hand feeding the viewers, like, hey, this is where we are, like, this is where we're going, like, grab my hand, like, let's go, like, type of thing,
Right. Oh my God. You have such a distinct style, I feel like, of making stuff. You have these very visually beautiful scenes.
Oh, thank you.
How do you think you're able to find that style, going from, making those iMovie films to today?
I think it's just being a sponge. Like, I think it's always just leaning into whatever you wanted to do originally, which was like, for me, it was just to tell stories and have fun with it. So I just want to have fun with these videos and have fun with these stories, and also just have fun with the people who you're doing it with.
Right.
but I think it's just being a sponge and just always wanting to, obviously having respect for like my own work that came before, but my next project, or hopefully like 2 projects from now, like I want to make something that is going to top the USC football video,
right?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously that's all subjective, but I think it's just, again, leaning into that thing of like, I did this, like why can't I do that?
Right. Yeah.
Just always trying to challenge myself.
Mm-hmm.
I am curious though, what's like one advice you would give someone who has maybe imposter syndrome, who doesn't have that like mental barrier to themselves when there really isn't that many obstacles? Like what would be your advice for someone like that who really needs a little extra dose of, I don't know, maybe like confidence or belief in themselves?
You know what I think it is? I think it is really leaning on people who you just aspire, like confidence wise. Like that can either be like your roommate, your brother, your sister, even like your parents, or like in a project like a producer or like an editor, like somebody who you can tell is just radiating confidence. Naturally you are going to become like those who you surround yourself with. And I mean, that's honestly what worked for me. I felt like I was surrounded by confident people growing up, and it just naturally made me more confident because I was who I became who I like chose to surround myself with.
Mm-hmm.
I think in terms of like you personally, I think it really is like just getting out of your comfort zone. Like I think it's getting out of your comfort zone and trying to put yourself in positions where you have to be confident in those moments. And that can be going to the gym. Like it doesn't have to be film. Like or it can be walking to the store. Like sometimes it's that's what I had to work my way to, and my journey isn't any different from anybody else's, and yeah.
Right.
That's what you said.
I mean, did you ever have moments where you were doubting yourself, like your ability to be in the industry or your skills?
All the time. I mean, I think it's so natural I think it's completely natural to doubt yourself or to not have confidence. But I think one thing that's important to remember is like everything is temporary, just including feelings and thoughts, and you're not attached to those feelings and thoughts. And you can ask yourself, like, why am I feeling like I'm not worthy enough of this? Like, is it benefiting me? Like, is this actually going to help me? Probably not. Okay, I'm just going to, like, let this thought pass, and then I'm just going to continue on with my day.
Right. Ah, that's beautifully said. And talking a little bit about your future, like, you graduated school now. What is, you think, your ultimate goal in this industry? Do you have an idea, or do you think you'll figure it out along the way?
I mean, I definitely think like a hike up a mountain is really only done step by step.
Yeah.
So I've always been super focused on like what step am I doing right now?
Yeah.
Because if this next step I'm taking is not the best that it can be, then the next step won't be, and then the next won't be, and the next won't be. So I'm definitely really doing my best at just staying present and like whatever's in front of me right now. But I do have end goals. I mean, I think right now an end goal of mine is to direct a movie. Like I think that would be super cool. I mean, if that comes my way and if I'm happy doing it, if I feel like if it feels comfortable, if it feels right, then I would love to do it. But if things change along the way and my journey goes down a different path, then as long as I'm happy, I'm cool with it.
Nice.
Is there like an existing world / IP that you would love to direct, maybe? One or two.
That's a good question. I mean, I think that there's something special about I love Tron. Like I think Tron is super fun. Like I love like this latest F1 movie is so exhilarating. Like it really leans into the world. I think anything that does with world building, I mean, I can bet you every single person walking on this earth loves the new Spider-Verse movie that came out like 2 years ago, but that's a big one for me. I think just storytelling with like characters and I think it's just anything world building, honestly.
I mean,
anything world building.
Is there a movie that like, you know, inspired you to get into film? Or is there like a favorite movie of yours?
It's got to be the first Avengers movie.
Wow.
Like that one is that was like a moment in time.
Yeah.
It was. It definitely was.
Do you like it?
I absolutely love it.
Okay,
I
there we
remember
go.
like when it premiered that weekend, I was in elementary school and like that's literally all anyone could talk about. Like who's our favorite hero, like the music, like everything. It was like a cultural event.
You went to school in China though.
Yeah, but they
Wow.
released it. Yeah, it was
That's
everywhere.
crazy.
Yeah, it was like the first time that superheroes got together and like blew our minds that that was
Yeah.
possible, you know?
Wow.
So it goes back to world building.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like that's the type of moment I'm trying to create is like people will remember like where they were when they watched like a certain video or a certain piece of art.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is. Yeah, that movie is generational. It's so good. It's awesome.
And it led up to Endgame, which is also oh my god.
That one too.
It's so insane that it almost killed the whole genre, you know.
I know.
Nuts. And you know, talking about the future, we can't not think about the impacts of AI, right? And I want to hear your thoughts from a VFX perspective. Like, what do you think that is gonna impact the industry?
I mean, I think it's just your choice on what side of history do you want to be on. Like, do you want to ride the wave and like figure out how you can adapt to this new future, or do you just want to like be stuck in the past? So that's obviously up to the viewer. Like that's up to you guys. But I think me personally, like I think it's a tool. Like I think it helps explain my ideas better. I think like it helps with pitch decks. It helps with showing my ideas to people where like a sentence might not be able to explain the type of like visual story I'm trying to tell. It helps just like explain my vision. But I think overall, just like looking into the future, it's a deliberate choice that you have to make of like what side of history do you want to be on, and that's something that only you could figure out.
Right. Do you feel like that's something that's able to replace VFX people in the future, or is there like so much nuance that it can't fully do that?
I'm in the weeds on it. Obviously a lot for every project, and there is a lot of nuance. There is a lot of nuance, but we'll see. Like I don't have that answer, but obviously my gut feeling is no, just because of how much goes into telling whatever story you want to tell. And as a director or like a storyteller, filmmaker, like you know what that's supposed to look like, and you'll do anything that it takes to make that happen. And sometimes like a prompt isn't enough.
Right.
You know?
You know, I watched a video. It was apparently a Blackpink music video that had a lot of AI generated shots of like sweeping cities and stuff like that. Is that something you'd want to create in your own projects? You know, using generative AI to, you know, create scenes and stuff.
Potentially. I mean, I think if it fits and if it feels right, and if it doesn't, when I'm personally rewatching it, like I'm not bothered by it, like it doesn't take me out of the world, like it doesn't bounce or whatever, then I would like it. But I think it's just all just situational.
Right. Yeah.
Like it just depends on the shot. Like if it feels right, or when I'm watching it, because what I don't want is for somebody to watch it and be like, oh, nice AI. and then it kind of just takes them out of it.
Right.
Like it shouldn't be something that sticks out that much.
Totally. I mean, you know, AI gives you so much ability to do pretty much even more things than what VFX could do at a fraction of the time. So I'm really curious to see how you can utilize it in the future, you know.
Yeah, I am
like
too.
Insane like abilities, you know, you can do with it. And I wonder, like, you know, as a career as a VFX and director, what is it like, you know, being able to live in LA, paying rent, you know, finances? How are you able to take care of all that and, you know, manage it as a freelancer?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think I just graduated college, so I'm trying to like figure out that world right now. But I think as long as you operate like just trying to push for the art first, just trying to, but make sure you keep everything in balance. I think it's just knowing your limits and knowing like, okay, I don't need a Lambo right now. Or like, I don't know, or just like, okay, I don't need all this stuff right now. What I really want is to make this video like super sick. And like, and if I have to maybe not make as much money off of this project, like I'm personally willing to make that sacrifice. Like it's something I'm like that's my priority. Like it's obviously difficult, but it's totally possible. It's completely totally possible.
Yeah.
There's so many people out here in LA doing it. There's a lot of people in New York doing it. There's a lot of people everywhere in the world doing it. And it's definitely very helpful to be around people who are also on a similar journey as you.
Yeah. I mean, were you born in California or did you move here?
Yeah, I was born in Manhattan Beach.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
I'm just down the road.
So you're familiar with this whole area.
Yes.
So I was going to ask, like, do you feel like it's necessary to be in LA to do your line of work today?
I mean, I think in terms of just like meeting people and just being in the world, I do think so. But I think it's up to whatever you want to be. Like if you really want to be like that people person, like heavily involved, I do think being around the city, being around that energy, being around the people is really important.
Yeah.
But if it's not for you, we live in a world where you can do everything remote. And even meeting people, like you can FaceTime or call and do anything remote. I think it's really up to the person's own personal desire and ambition, honestly.
Right. And you know, today I feel like getting into the film industry, people, I mean, even on their Instagram bios, they have director, writer, all these different titles. Do you feel like it's good to master a ton of crafts, or is it better to just focus on one as your main thing?
That's honestly a good question. I mean, I think it's a mixture of both. I think being a jack of all trades is great, just so you can really know, like, just all aspects of it. I would definitely consider myself a jack of all trades in a certain aspect, but also, again, like filmmaking takes a team, like it takes a village. I mean, going into my production with DeAndre Hopkins, which was like a full production with like green screen, whatnot. I had no idea what a DP was. No idea. I just thought all I knew was like, all right, I'm just going to click record on this camera. I had no idea what an AC was. I had no idea what this stuff was. No idea. Like even going into my project with like Coachella, even like going into the USC football project, I still didn't really know a lot, but I lit it. I was even like the gaffer on that project. So like, I think being specialized in certain areas is definitely really important, but making sure that you can simultaneously lean on people who know other things that you don't know.
Right. And, you know, I wonder in the future, where do you see yourself going for the next few years? You know, what is the next thing you're trying to chase?
That's honestly a good question. I think I'm just chasing for those moments. Like, how can I really make a moment? How can I really make an impact on either like in the USC video, like how can I make an impact in the sports world, or how can I just make an impact on somebody's day? Like how can I have somebody remember a certain project of mine and they remember like where they were? I don't know why. I'm so fascinated about that, of like creating a memory for somebody.
Right.
Of like, wow, I remember where I was when I saw this video and I got incredibly inspired from it. And whatever that may look like and whatever journey that may take me on.
Right. I mean, when creating moments, you've created so many with the various projects that you've done. Like, what are some elements you think are necessary to building these moments in your projects?
I think it's definitely marketing for sure. I think, that's another advice I would give somebody going into freshman year, like USC. A lot of people I feel like a lot of people are kind of not nervous or scared, but I think sometimes people are afraid to put themselves out there on social media. I think it's so important. Like, you don't have to be posting every day. Like, you don't have to be doing all that stuff, but I think it's really important to post your work and then release like behind the scenes content.
Yeah.
I think that's super important. But I think it is kind of taking like a week, 2 week. I mean, sometimes, this USC football journey has been taking me on a year-long journey with this video. Like we're going to the Emmys on Saturday. Like it's not over yet, which is so crazy. But it's just taking that chunk and doing as much as you can of being like, hey, like I'm going to try my best to own this week. I'm going to try my best to own these 2 weeks where when you're on your phone, when you're on social media, like you are going to see this video I'm doing. I mean, it could literally be like a 30-second video passion project, or it could be for one of the biggest like companies in the world. Like it doesn't matter what it is, but it's marketing. I think that's the key to it.
What's your biggest advice on marketing on social media?
Show your face. Show your face. Like I think a lot of people are so used to just showing the work, but then they're kind of afraid to like show the person behind it. Like you don't need to write like a documentary, like give a documentary about yourself. But just like post a photo of you on set. Like that's how I got the Coachella job, was that I released I released some behind the scenes content of me like on set with talent. And then they saw that, oh, I actually kind of know what I'm doing. And then I got the interview and then I got the job. So like, so then again, like you just never know who's watching.
Right. I mean, no, I noticed in your director's reels, there's a lot of moments with you on set. Like I usually don't see that in director reels. So I definitely see that applied. That's awesome. And you know, something we do on this podcast actually is that we have the previous guest leave the current guest a question.
Ooh.
So the previous guest asked you a question. Looking back at your younger self, would you have still gone the same path you're going now or change it?
Totally going the same path. That has to be the only answer, right? Like that has to be the only answer. Like I really feel like I have zero regrets.
That's amazing.
I really feel like I don't have any regrets. I mean, that's another one of those things of like, do I need them? No. So like what benefit is like walking around every day being like, I regret X, Y, and Z, when like I can just live every moment as like I'm just extremely grateful to be here. But no, I honestly wouldn't change a thing.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, to close things off, like what is one practical thing that our viewers can do after this podcast to help them further themselves in their filmmaking journey?
I would say get like a journal or a planner and just make sure you like plan your days with a routine of like doing something for yourself in the morning and then at night. And then during the day, just try to like write down your creative ideas. Just try to be creative like once a day. Just try to be creative once a day. And sometimes like creativity, it's tough to rely that on discipline. But if you can turn creativity into discipline, you are golden. It's tough. But the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. So yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thanks so much.
No, thank you guys for having me. I hope I answer you guys' questions. I feel like
this has been great.
Amazing.